And thanks to the power of the internet, we are here in living color. We are alive. We are breathing. You may know me as one Mr. Dave LeClaire, the person who normally sits here and doesn't say too much until it's time to talk about video games. But Justin is not here today, so I'm here. I'm hosting the show, and I'm here with a reminder that the views expressed by the hosts of the Technophilia podcast do not necessarily reflect MakeUseOf.com, and one person whose views are not reflected by anybody is one Mr. James Bruce from the United Kingdom. What's up, James?
I'm good. I'm joined here by my friend Mr. Abbott.
Nice. I am joined by my friend here, Mr. Monster Energy. Please note that we are in no way sponsored by any of these companies, although if they would like to...
MakeUseOf endorses.
If they would like to sponsor us, please, by all means, send an email to jackson@makeuseof.com.
Not even sponsor us, just send us free stuff. We'll totally go for that. We can do it on the slide. No need to tell MakeUseOf. That's okay.
That's technically a sponsorship, in a way.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, but you don't even want them to tell MakeUseOf. You just want them to send it to us, and we'll just drink it on the show because we're so influential that if people see us drinking it, they'll flock to us like crazy. So why don't we move on to the tech news, which I will warn you, if you are a tech fan, we only have like 5 stories or 6 stories today, and then the rest is all gaming news. So if you don't like gaming, then I'm sorry, your life is going to suck today.
And honestly, our analysis of this news is going to be pretty shit without Justin.
Yeah,
just warning you. You can turn off now if you want. That's cool.
This
we would understand.
So this first story is about your email double. And it has a very, 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 very weird piece of stock photo as its header image. It's like if you can't see it, it's like William Shakespeare sitting there all confused, like, I don't know, looking at an old laptop. So, James, why don't you tell me how this stock photo connects to this story?
I don't know.
Wait,
what is the story? Did you added this?
I didn't add this.
Oh, I'm guessing this was one of Justin's. Though.
Oh, jeez. We are really failing.
Man, this sucks. I didn't read this story. I thought it was one of yours.
I thought it was one of yours. Man, we are really failing this show today. All right, well,
I can tell you, though, I do have a email double. Because I have an iCloud account, and when I signed up for it, it was like my name was taken, so I had to put a dot in there. And I regularly get airplane ticket receipts from my email double, which is actually kind of dodgy when you think about it. And then sometimes I'll get some from his PA saying, oh, shall I arrange this flight for you tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. That sounds fine.
So the poor guy is taking trips on your behalf.
Well, it's his fault for having the same name as me, basically.
Who's older, though?
I think he's older and earns significantly more money than me.
So technically, it's your fault for having his name. You stole his name because he's older. Right?
You're right.
Yep, got him. So we are off to a fantastic start this week. Speaking of fantastic, how about that band U2, James? I hear you're a big fan of U2.
God, that sucks. So what Apple did at their announcement thing, they announced that they paid like 10 million for this crap U2 album, and then they pushed it. They actually pushed it forcefully onto every single iOS device ever. And if you had the automatic downloads turned on, it would automatically put the U2 album on your phone. If not, you just got like this little iCloud icon, right? You've seen it.
I didn't even get it. I don't have automatic downloads on, but it automatically went into my music app and was playable. Like I could stream it.
Like I was just walking around one day trying to find something to play, and then I see all these grayed out songs from U2. I'm like, what? Something's broken.
Yeah, so
I was a bloody U2 song.
So I got when I get into my car, we were talking about before, my car has a Bluetooth that plays the music or podcast or whatever. So I get into the car.
Oh, yeah, you got one of them fancy things.
Yeah, so I get into the car and I hit the Bluetooth button. And normally it'll play whatever I was playing last, which would be my podcast catcher app. And that app crashed right as it launched, right as it went to autoplay. So if it can't find that, it automatically picks a random song from your iTunes library from the music app. And I don't have anything in there. So it's just started, even though I didn't have it downloaded, it just started playing one of the U2 songs. So here I am thinking I'm going to be listening to the latest episode of Bomb in the AM with Scoops and the Wolf, a Giant Bomb podcast, and all of a sudden U2 starts playing. I was like, the fuck is this? So the gist of this story and the reason we're talking about it is Apple has decided Apple has decided to, there's a link you can go to, https itunes.com/soi-remove, and it will get rid of that stupid U2 album if you don't want it.
There was an article with a list of tweets talking about the Apple downloads, and one of them I really liked. It was warning to all Apple users: there is a download button next to these U2 songs. Do not click it; it will download a U2 song.
There was I saw there was a trending topic on Twitter for a bit. Who is U2? So that's good. Apple. Only in today's world, though, will people be mad that they got a free album. If this had happened, like, when I was, like, 12, and I had to, like, buy CDs with my own allowance, and I could only afford, like, one every 2 months because I got, like, $5 a week allowance.
Oh my God.
If someone had said, like, here's a free CD by a band that you don't really care for, I would have still been like, free CD, hells yeah. Now it's like, get this shit off my phone. So I ran through the deletion process, and I no longer have the U2 album, and that makes me happy. So.
Yeah, I did this too. Because the thing is, no one would care if they'd have just released it as a free thing on iTunes and been like, download this, it costs $0. Like, that's cool. Awesome, thanks Apple. But the fact that they pushed it forcefully out to everyone's phone without asking is really kind of worrying.
And the whole thing was, their whole thing was they wanted to be able to say, this is the largest album launch in history. That's what they were touting during the...
Most ever downloads. Yeah, no wonder Apple. You made
this
all
it's really
download.
easy to make it like it's. You could say like, you know, if Microsoft just like pushed out a video game and was like, this is on everybody's Xbox 360, they could be like, we have the most downloaded video game ever. Or even worse, what if Steam was just they pushed out a PC game and to every PC? They'd be like, hey, it's the most downloaded video game ever. But is it really? Like,
they kind of do, actually, don't they? Like, if you buy a bundle, you have to download all of it, don't you?
Well, it goes in your library. You don't have to actually download
Exactly.
it.
I can't... Like, can you remove stuff from your library?
No.
That sucks.
But you can... I have a folder called crap, and then I just keep it collapsed. So, like, everything that I'm never going to install, like the old, like, Half-Life mods, like Half-Life Blue Shift or something... Like
this is one serious negative point about DRM, I think. Like, the fact that it's all locked down and stuff, couldn't care less. The fact that you can't remove something from your library on all these systems, God, that frustrates me. Like,
yeah, that's so
weird. I could
weird.
throw out a game, I could throw out a CD.
Yeah, that is a little weird, but I guess it's the whole, like, it's digital, so it doesn't actually take up, like, space, because if it's not installed, you're not taking up space. It's just a name on a list.
It's on my list of downloaded apps in iTunes, for instance. Like, you go in there and you've downloaded this stupid app that you never want again, you deleted it immediately, and still it's going to be in there forever.
You own it.
It's just frustrating.
It's yours, man. You can't get rid of it. You just can't.
That's the one feature request I want from Apple right now. Let me remove crap from my downloads.
So before we move on to this next story, did you add this or did Justin?
I did, of course I did. The rest of this was all us.
Okay, good. Now I can take it. Breathe easy. I was a little scared there. So, some math textbook publishers are using Google image search in their books, and
So
there's
it was a Thai
some adult
publisher.
images that have.
Kind of. So it was a Thai textbook publisher, and it was a math book. And they had to recall 3,000 copies of it, basically because they must have used Google image search while they were looking for, like, professional woman or something to put on the cover. And instead of using a stock photo site like any other good person would, they happened across an image that just so happened to be from a Japanese porn. Featuring a girl called Mana Aoki.
I see what happened there. Yes, I see. I can see in the picture posted on the left and the right. I can see some resemblance between
it is her.
The two. Yes, I could see the mistake that was made. She does look very professional in both images, though, I must admit. Yeah, that's a pretty big screw up. I mean, not only in terms of the fact that like she's I assume a recognizable adult star in Japan. I don't really know, but isn't that like copyright infringement? Can't you not just like pick up
Well,
images and use them in your
yes.
book?
There's that too. You really should be paying for your images and not just pulling stuff off Google.
I assume this textbook is not free. Like they're selling this textbook, so
Oh no, this would be a proper Thai textbook.
which means
this
it costs
this
like
is rife all over Asia,
$9,000,
though, right?
like every textbook, because they're textbooks are crazy expensive.
I mean, in fairness, the picture they pulled, it's not actually pornographic. It's just her looking professional. And if you had a teacher like that, you'd be quite happy. But it is from a porn.
There you go. So the moral of the story is, unless you are making bad art for the Technophilia podcast, do not Google image search random photos to use for your textbooks.
We should probably use Japanese porn on the image art now, shouldn't we? I think it's got to be done.
I mean, we could just use like a picture and then just completely blur it, and then it would be Japanese porn. So, that's...
Unnecessary censorship.
Of course, I have no idea how to actually blur things in Photoshop because I barely know how to use the selection tool, let alone blur things.
Oh dear.
So, this next story is not actually news in any way, shape, or form, but
it's awesome.
But we can get some erotic poetry constructed entirely from iPhone 6 reviews, or just reviews in general. Wait, what is this, Jim?
No, from iPhone 6 reviews. So they've taken choice sentences from iPhone 6 reviews and formed it into a great bit of poetry.
How are there iPhone 6 reviews yet? The phone is not out.
Probably first impressions things.
Oh, okay.
From people
Gotcha.
who got to play with it, I'm guessing.
Gotcha. So, James, are you going to read this whole poem to me?
I'm not sure if we should read all
of it. Oh
my
god,
it's
like
it would
freaking
take half
long
an
as
hour.
shit. Yeah, never mind.
We can read a bit. Okay.
Here, you start at the beginning. You read one line, I'll read one line. We'll go back and forth. We'll serenade each other.
Okay. Consider the size of your hands.
I have really big hands.
It's not something I usually think about.
You don't ever really think about your hands.
Those are my hands.
You might idly remark to yourself from time to time.
I wonder if I can use them for anything good.
It's all just potential right now.
But it's extremely obvious potential.
Big things have enormous beginnings.
If my children and my children's children
and their children
and all the children after that
keep contorting their hands like this for generations. Wait, stop. How did that fit into anything? What iPhone 6 review is talking about contorting hands for generations?
Well, clearly they have. Are we going to stop there? Then?
That's where we stop. I don't even understand. That doesn't make any sense.
This is such a good poem. You should go.
So if you look at it, they appear to have linked stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yes, they've linked to which review they pulled it from. A lot of them are from CNET. A lot of them are from The Verge themselves, where they published this.
That whole first one was that whole part we read was from The Verge.
Yeah. It's obviously just taking the piss about how much bullshit goes into these reviews, which I think we can both agree with, considering we review
my reviews are all flawless.
Oh, speaking of which, guess what I'm just about to review? Check this shit out. This is a parrot mini drone jumping sumo. It's like a little RC remote control, like a Segway, but without the thing to actually hold on to. And it's got a camera on the front, and it jumps, and it can play the drums.
That is pretty cool. But
how much more could you ask for from one of these things?
I'm about to review something even better, James.
That's impossible. That is literally impossible.
I don't have it on my person yet because it hasn't arrived, but I'm about to review another gaming PC. Oh shit! People about to get a free computer. Doesn't that just get boring
after a while? It's just a PC.
Yeah, but it's actually a gaming, one of those all-in-one ones, you know, the like the monitor is the computer. So those are not typically known for
like an
having.
iMac.
Yeah, those are not typically known for being good for gaming, but this one promises to be.
Well, no. How are you going to upgrade that?
Well, that's the thing.
Well,
you
you're
really
not,
can't. It's, like
obviously.
it's basically like a laptop, but you get a big ass screen with it. So that's kind of the.
But the whole point of a gaming machine is that you can upgrade it. Like that's what. Like every new game that comes out, oh, more memory, more graphics card.
No, not necessarily. I mean, you should. You buy it to future proof. You buy one that's better than you need, so that it'll run games for at least 2 years.
You buy the best one you can afford. Yes.
Yes.
But anyway, I think you're missing the point. How on earth is that better than a jumping mini drone?
No, it's probably not. Although it's more
it's not.
It's more useful in real world applications. I feel like a desktop PC is more useful than a hopping mini drone.
I am going to have so much fun with this tomorrow, assuming it doesn't rain. It's got like, well, I'll have precisely 20 minutes of fun with it.
So
That's how
when
long
you
the battery
review
lasts.
that, what exactly are you looking for?
How awesome is it?
Like,
that's my main criteria.
like, oh my god, did it crash into like a fiery pit? Like that would be a negative against it, I assume.
I'm hoping not to destroy it, but if I do, we're just going to buy another one for the winner, so that's okay.
I remember I reviewed a joystick that claimed to be like indestructible, and Jackson was like, "Yeah, just if you destroy it, we'll have to buy another one for the review for the winner." But I managed to not destroy it because it really was extremely tough. Anyway,
that was nice.
So far we've talked about like all these stories, but somehow have still worked gaming into every one of them. Like during YouTube, except the porn one. No, we didn't talk about porn. We didn't talk about gaming in the porn. But every other story, we've squeezed video games into it. So the all gaming thing is happening.
That's the important angle, really, isn't it?
That is everything relates back to video games.
So true. So true.
Even the adult industry. We just didn't find that connection. So most video games are sold in the form of digital distribution at this point. But apparently in Japan, they don't have that same thing as their music because they buy their music on CDs over there still.
Wait, back up. Are you sure about that?
According to this,
games are... No, not this. The games. You brought gaming into this, and I want to check on that. Are you sure?
On PC, maybe, yeah. And iPhone.
On PC, okay, absolutely on PC and iPhone, yeah.
And iPhone. The total.
I would say not on consoles.
If you factored in all the video game sales, which includes like iPhone and Android, then I would say that digital is the predominant distribution method.
But I thought we already established that iPhone and Android games aren't serious games.
So listen, when it's convenient
They're
for
not real games.
when it's convenient for my argument, they are, and when it is convenient for my argument, they aren't. You know, that's how this works. It's however I need them to be. That's what they are. So
fair enough.
Apparently, according to this headline that you have placed into the outline, 85% of music sales are still in the form of physical CDs in Japan.
Yes, and I can explain this.
Yes, please do, Mr. Japanese man.
Why would you think it is?
Because Japanese people really like to play frisbee, but frisbees are banned from all stores in the country, so they use frisbees as CDs as frisbees. No, okay. Well, I tried.
So... generally, the whole kind of media empire in Japan is dominated by the otaku subculture, you know, the kind of real serious geeks.
Yeah.
And that's why the top of the charts tend to be dominated every week by whatever the popular group at the moment is. In this case, it has been since I was there, like 3 years ago. It's still AKB48, which is a group of 48 young girls, mostly high school age students. Yes, that's like this is a big thing in Japan. Huge girl groups of just like this is the most they've ever had.
How do they like harmonize and shit? How do you like make them all sound?
I think they don't all perform at once, but it's like there's a group of 48 girls who form the members of the band, and then some of them will come out at certain times and things. But anyway. So the fans of these groups, they tend to be kind of geeky-ish, and they will, rather than buying digital downloads, they'll go out and get multiple copies of the CD. Because that's what the groups want them to do. It's like competitions and stuff. And CDs in Japan, they're more like collector's editions, you know. They kind of had like little photo books in them as well and stuff.
I think that's the only reason people still buy CDs here too, is to get like a lot of the bands throw like they'll throw like a DVD of a live concert in there along with like a.
But it's more of a normal thing in Japan to be. They had DRM on CDs in Japan a long time ago. I can remember that, and that was something kind of new to me. I'd never found that on any other Western CDs. Like, you'd put it into your computer and it would pop up some dumbass Sony protection thing. That was so annoying.
But what if you're not playing it in a computer, if you're just using like a CD player?
Well, you couldn't play it in a computer, basically, unless you use this stupid app.
Oh. So do they buy the CDs over there and then like rip them? Or are they like listening to them in like portable compact disc players, like Walkmans or whatever?
I don't think they listen to them. I think they just buy them.
That's true. Who would want to listen to a group of 48
girls
that
sounds stupid.
Screaming into a microphone?
Oh, that's harsh. Have you listened to any of AKB48? That's harsh.
Why would I listen to AKB48?
You probably should. I'll send you a few choice songs. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, please don't. I always thought it was weird that Slipknot, my favorite band, had 9 members. I can't imagine 48. 48 middle-aged men in masks running around on stage, all trying to play guitars and whatnot. That would be pretty awesome. Slipknot should do that.
That's kind of what Slipknot sounds like to me. A bunch of people running around who don't know how to play their instruments.
Shut up! Don't be hating on.
Oh!
I just bought tickets to their concert in December. It cost me a not an insignificant amount of money. But I love Slipknot, so.
Concert.
Yeah, I only go to very select few bands' concerts, and anytime Slipknot, because they go on tour like once every 7 years, so whenever they do, I am there. So,
you know, I think the last thing I saw in concert was Cyndi Lauper, and that was in Japan.
The last thing I saw was In This Moment, which is a metal band fronted by a female lead singer, and Jess is a humongous fan of them, and she wanted to go, and I like them too, so we went, and it was a good show.
Never heard of it.
They're pretty good. I mean, if you don't like metal, you won't like them. You know, if you don't like screaming "Rah!" in your music, then you won't like them. Anywho, James is on a Japan kick this week, so let's. They are buying CDs, but they're not buying Xbox Ones apparently over there in Japan.
That was nice. I like what you did.
I stumbled around on it a little trying to come up with it though, but it's okay. So they sold 23,000 units in the first week of the Xbox Ones, which personally I am surprised by because that's more than I thought they would sell.
That's in the first month, right? The first month.
No, it says.
Whereas the Wii U.
It says the first week. Units in its first week following its launch.
That's not going to change much, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the 360 was a failure, and that's in comparison to what?
Although
PS4,
apparently the 360, the PS3 sold, or the 360 sold double that in the first week. So.
Yeah.
The PS4 did, okay over there, but even that's not great. It just seems like console gaming is just kind of like, in Japan, is kind of dying.
No, not. It's they don't have the right content. The problem is that they have so much content still available for things like PS2 and PS3 that there's absolutely no reason to buy these latest consoles because the games they want aren't on the latest consoles.
True. And if you looked at like TGS when Sony did their Tokyo Game Show press conference, they were like, the games they showed there were all like, we got Destiny and we have Call of Duty. Like they had no games that were actually aimed at like the Eastern market. They just showed the same games that
Oh, no, that's not true. They did announce something for Morpheus. Did you see that?
No. Was that at the press conference?
It was at the Sony press conference. Was it? No, it's from Namco Bandai, and they wrote about it's for Project Morpheus. It's a virtual reality schoolgirl interaction software.
Oh god, yeah, that's definitely for the Japanese market.
This was announced during the conference, dude. You can go check it out. It's got like you're in a bedroom and you're communicating with this schoolgirl by nodding or shaking your head. This is what I mean about not having the games they want. They want schoolgirls in games. That's what they want. That's all they want. And if you don't put these kind of slightly dodgy titles onto the consoles,
Slightly
the Japanese market won't buy them. That's all there is to it.
Slightly dodgy. I like that description, though.
Like, you need to go to Japan and go into a game store, and half of that store will be over 18s only dating sims.
That is a little bit weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little weird, but hey, if that's what they have fun with, I don't know. It seems like portable games are the thing over there. Everybody loves their DSs, and apparently even the PSP is still popular over there. The original, not the Vita. The Vita is also way more popular over there than over here, but the PSP still has all the Monster Hunter games on it. And
shit, you know what? I actually had a PlayStation Portable when I was in Japan. I forgot about that.
Did you play Monster Hunter? Because I think that's what everybody plays.
I didn't like that. I didn't actually play on it much. It was kind of... Shit, I was paid far too much when I was in Japan. I just bought this crap for no reason, but...
I had a PSP at one point as well. I did not play it much, so there you go. Go figure.
Yeah.
So... This is James is doing a new DIY project over at Make You Stuff. He's making a pair of Air Jordans in a PlayStation 4 or
no, I'm not.
PlayStation 4 in Air Jordans or something.
This is so stupid.
This is actually not by James Bruce. He has no way affiliated with this. So James,
who is it by? So there's a
Johnny
Barry from Freaka Sneaks company. They're making 10 pairs of custom. What are they calling it? J's?
Something like
Air
that.
Jordans, right?
Yeah.
And they're branded PS4, which I don't know why. And get this, they have an HDMI port in them. Now, one would be sitting there thinking, "Oh my god, they put a PS4 into a pair of shoes that you can play? That's awesome!" No, they put the letters PS4 and an HDMI port into a pair of shoes. And nothing comes out of the HDMI port. It's literally just an HDMI port.
Yeah, see, I originally thought that it was a PS4 in a shoe as well, and that's
what I thought. That would be awesome. Like,
I mean,
not only if they minimize the hardware.
I'm not going to say that would be awesome, but it'd be cool that they did it. I wouldn't want it, but it would be cool that they did it.
Oh no, I wouldn't want it.
But this is just...
But it would be impressive, right? Someone's shrunk a PS4 down. Because they do that with, like, a 360. They'll put in, like, a laptop size and give it a screen and stuff. That's cool. I like that.
Also, they did a very poor job of dusting the sneakers in these photos. Jackson would have a shit fit if he saw these. Because, you know, he's always bitching about dust in your photos. Especially the main header image. Like, look at all the little dust flecks all over the sneakers.
And get this, $950.
I mean, sneakerheads, as they call themselves, people who collect sneakers, they will spend large sums of money for like a limited edition sneaker. So this is not even remotely surprising to me that they would want this.
How stupid do you get, honestly?
I mean, you know, they collect rare sneakers. This is going to be a rare sneaker, so they collect it, and that's the way that it goes. I don't know, people. Whatever makes them happy, am I right? Right.
No.
No? Alright.
No.
Then fuck them. They can't be happy. So Grand Theft Auto 5 is finally coming to next generation consoles and personal computers. So everyone who is holding, I know there are some people out there. I remember one of the video game podcasts I listened to, this guy said that he just tried GTA 5 on the current gen consoles just to see if it was good, and then stopped playing it after an hour and just decided he's going to wait till it comes to the next gen. So there are people who waited.
Why?
As they wanted, he wanted to get the best, nicest looking experience. So it's coming to PS4 and Xbox One on November 18th, and it's coming to PC January 27th. So if you want the absolute best looking experience, the PC is obviously going to be the way to go. So, hey, if you've been waiting and you want to see it in the prettierness, then there you go. It will also
I can't
have
imagine there's many people who actually waited. I mean, gamers especially are like the worst when it comes to waiting.
I'm sure there's not many, but I'm sure there's some. You know. There's going to be it's going to be not only like better graphics, but they're going to like dense up the world more. So there's going to be like more traffic, more wildlife running around, better damage on cars and stuff like that. So
I don't think I would play through this again.
I really like GTA 5, but I don't play through very many like story-based games more than once. The only ones I can think of are
Yeah,
like
don't get me wrong.
Metal
I
Gear.
fucking love the game, but I wouldn't play it again just because it's got prettier graphics this time.
Yeah, that I don't think it's worth it for that.
No.
But
Can't they just work on GTA 6 instead? That would be better.
well, how much? Yeah,
Come
but
on,
the thing
guys.
is, how
GTA
hard
6, come
you
on.
gotta weigh how hard is it for them to up-res it versus the amount of money they're gonna make for doing it. Because I guarantee it'll still sell a lot. Especially the PC one, because you figure, the console ones, whatever. But there are people who only play PC games, and for them, it will be the first chance to actually play it. So that at least makes sense. The next-gen console's kind of blah.
It's a shame games don't just automatically upscale. Well, I mean, they do on PC, don't they, obviously?
Yeah, and PC,
But not
to,
with the
to a
consoles,
certain
that kinda
extent,
sucks.
like they can only go as far as the engine will go without mods. But,
Guy
So-
in the chat room saying, I can't believe people have time to game.
Yeah.
You do not want to know how many hours I have spent on Destiny this past week. I don't want to know, because I'm sure I could have...
And how many you spent on Minecraft the week before that? So,
Oh,
speaking of Destiny, it has shipped. It shipped $500 million in the first day. I assume this number has gone up since it's not the first day anymore. But we don't have.
that would be a good assumption to make.
Yeah, but we don't have. They didn't put out any more numbers after that first day. However, the review
No.
scores not sitting as pretty as the sales. Seems like Bungie made a smart decision with holding the servers until launch day so that the critics could not get on there and play it beforehand, or else the review scores would have been negative, and it probably would have negatively impacted sales at least a little bit.
I do not care what the critics said about it.
See, the critics convinced me not to get it.
See, I can't put any faith in game journalists, because I'm pretty sure they're just people like you and me, and I don't trust their opinions about as much as I don't trust your opinion.
Well, the user score is actually lower than the critic score on like Metacritic. The user score is a 6.6. The critic score is actually a 7.6. So the users hate it more than the critics.
I'm kind of shocked by that, actually. I was expecting it to be the other way around, because Polygon gave it a 6 out of 10, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. And I know, okay, I get it. Don't put so much faith in a score. But if you read the review as well, it was just condemning it all the way through.
Giant Bomb also gave it the equivalent of a 6. They gave it a 3 out of 5, so that's the equivalent of a 6 out of 10. That was the one that made me decide not to get it, was all the stuff that Giant Bomb had to say about how it's extremely repetitive, how there's like the story is crap, there's like, well, there basically is no story that you actually care about, and how you pretty much just kind of go around, go to a planet, the little robot says, go scan this thing, and then guard it while you scan it, and then, okay, mission done, then go do that again, and then mission done,
Okay,
go do that
but
again.
Let's compare it to something like Titanfall. What score did Titanfall get?
Yeah, but Titanfall was a multiplayer game.
But Titanfall is just a multiplayer game. Like, there was literally no single-player campaign. It was shit.
The reason Destiny's scores are so low is basically that it didn't deliver what they advertised that it was going to deliver. Like, they pitched this as this like epic world that you'll get, like blah blah. It's going to be like the biggest thing, and you're going to be wandering around, and there's going to be unlimited missions everywhere. And technically, there is unlimited missions, but they're just like stupid little things that say like, "Hey man, go kill some shit, and then tell me when you're done." And then you go kill the shit, and then it just randomly generates these like very thin, empty missions. And then there's like the story, which has some story to it, but it sounds like it's mostly just kind of the same type of missions, just with a little bit of like exposition beforehand. But so Titanfall delivered exactly what it said it was going to deliver, and Destiny kind of did.
But in comparison, it's incredibly weak compared to Destiny. I mean, Titanfall is just a multiplayer game, and the multiplayer aspect, I mean, it's solid, but it's nothing groundbreaking, is it?
It's also very thin too, Titanfall. Like, there's not a lot of modes and stuff like that, which it probably should have been.
No, that's like, you get what you see, but
Yeah.
how can that get a much higher score than something like Destiny?
Because it's
Which
executed
may not
better.
live up to expectations of whatever people were hyping it up to be, but it's already a better game than a lot more other games.
But Titanfall is, execution-wise, everything. There's really nothing wrong with Titanfall other than the fact that it's a little light on modes. Like,
Well, that's like saying there's nothing wrong with chess. I mean, sure, but you can't do a whole fucking lot with it, can you?
yeah, but that doesn't make it bad. You know, chess is still a good game.
No, but it doesn't. It doesn't mean that you can compare a game that does
well,
a
the
lot
point of
more.
reviews is that you're not supposed to repair. You're not comparing it. It's not. You're not comparing Destiny to Titanfall. You're reviewing Destiny.
Well, I think you should be if you're going to assign an arbitrary bullshit score and say that Titanfall is an 8 and Destiny's a 6. Then
Well, I agree
you're
that
inviting comparison.
Scores are dumb, and I think scores should be done away with, but they can't because scores are what get people talking and get people angry. And
I think the criticism of it being shallow with like not enough levels is just weak. Like,
there is only 4 planets on it.
there's 4 huge planets. Don't put it like 4 levels. There's not just
They're
4
not
levels.
really that huge. I saw all of Earth in that beta, and it is not huge.
And there's another 4 huge worlds. Like,
If they're the same size as Earth, then they're not huge. They are medium.
I mean, what I don't like in a game is when you're supposed to be playing on the same planet, and yet you keep going back to somewhere that's completely different. Like, it's all a disparate set of different missions. At least in Destiny, you have something solid to keep going back to. It's a recognizable world. You learn where all these little bits are. You learn routes. You maybe try and explore a little. That I like. I think that's a positive for the game, not a negative.
See, I think that's a negative. I think having to go back to the same places over and over again is kind of like...
It's not like you're going back to the same places, though. You're going back to the same environment, but you're going back to different parts of it.
I think people were hoping for a little more variety and a little more scale than what they
They
got.
were hoping for World of Warcraft.
Well, that's what
Which
they.
is
But
stupid.
that's because that's what they were selling. They were selling this as World of Warcraft the shooter, and they did not deliver that in the slightest. They delivered shooter with MMO elements, but it's like they took the worst parts of MMOs and not the best parts. You know what I mean? They took the stupid.
I'm not sure there are best parts of MMOs.
The best parts of MMOs is like exploring this giant world that like is practically limitless, and they ignored that part and went with the whole like, now go kill 10 fuck faces and then report back to me when you're done, and then go over here and protect this guy while he looks at this thing.
But that's
and
because
then-
it isn't an MMO. It's a shooter with MMO elements.
Right.
And the shooter aspect of it is very solid. Like,
That's what I agree with that. The shooting is very
the
solid.
boss battles are intense.
The other problem that a lot of
Really
people
like them.
The main problem that I've heard from people with it is that the barrier to get into the raid content, the stuff that Bungie's like, we wish people hadn't reviewed the game because the raid content is what really matters. Apparently, the barrier to get in there is literally just grinding for possibly hours. Because you hit the level cap.
I haven't played raid content yet, so I don't agree with that.
Yeah, and you won't.
I don't even know what that is.
You won't get to the raid content because you're gonna have to put in hours and hours and hours of the raid content is supposed to be the crux of the game. It's where you get together with a group of like dedicated people and you fight extremely hard, like similar to the strike missions. But
The strike missions?
right, they're like that, but you have to be level 25 to get to them. And
Holy shit.
the level cap is level 20. So
yeah, I've read you need to buy armor. Or
you need to
something
get
above
you
that
need to
level.
grind the armor. You need to just go out there and do those stupid bullshit like randomly generated missions until you
Don't you get it
hopefully-
through playing multiplayer as well?
You can get it through that too. But a lot of people are like, I don't want to play the multiplayer. You know, they bought this game to be like a single player, not a single player, but like a co-op type shooter, not competitive. They didn't want Call of Duty. They didn't want Halo. And I think
See,
people
my
are mad
biggest
that they
complaint
were kinda,
about the game is that it doesn't have matchmaking for all the missions. It only has matchmaking for specific strike missions.
Right, they said that the ones that don't have matchmaking where they found them to be too hard with randoms. You need to have a group of communicating people. and then that pissed people
I'm
off.
happy to communicate with randoms,
But yeah,
but
that
I
pissed,
want that matchmaking to be an option.
that pissed people off because they're like, who are you going to tell me that how I can play it or not? Fucking let me matchmake, and if we lose, we lose, you know? Like,
right.
let us lose
Which
then.
happens a lot, even on strike missions, I admit. They're hard, they're difficult, and it's fun. God damn it, it's a fun game.
That's another thing that's another shitty thing that they borrowed from WoW. Like, in WoW, you can't do the hardest raids with the matchmaking system. So people complained about
stupid.
So people complained about that in WoW. So what WoW did was they took the same exact raids, made them a little bit easier, and let you do them with randoms. You just get slightly worse items out of it, but you can still see the content.
I feel like they could still add that into Destiny. Like, it's not this isn't like Destiny, it's finished, it's over, that's it, you can just play what you've got. Like, they're going to keep adding content, and they can still promise things. They can still
That's the thing
things,
that people are forgetting is, like, when if Destiny is like an MMO, when most MMOs first come out, they kind of suck, and then they get like WoW. Like, if you try to go back and play vanilla WoW, as they call it, you know, the first WoW that came out with no expansion, it's fucking trash. Like, you would never want to play that shit. Everything that you take for granted when you play WoW, it's like you just like. There was no flying mounts until you were max level, so everywhere you went in that game you had to walk, and it took forever. Like, all these all these little things that, like, you just take for granted has been added in WoW. So in 6 months, Destiny might be a completely different game. But the fact is, the critics got to review what's there, you know, and it sounds like what's there right now is average.
So. Some people have said that the menu system or the town is kind of like a really good aspect. This is how menus should be done.
They mean like,
but in my opinion, the tower bit, where you basically walk around and speak to random sellers, kind of sucks.
Well, that's MMO right there. That's that's going to Stormwind in World of Warcraft, and you go to there and there's an auction.
But it's annoying for me because I don't know like when I first started, I had no idea what Vanguard points were or whatever.
That's another complaint.
And then it says, like, they're earned in the Crucible. So I go to the Crucible, pay a bunch of matches, get some reputation, and yet I still don't have any Vanguard points. Like, what the fuck's going on there?
You get, Vanguard points can't be accrued until level 18.
Right. So I know that now, and I'm level 18, but none of that was explained, and it doesn't make any sense. And why would I even be able to talk to these traders when they're like, they don't have anything for me? It's like, requires level 20, okay, whatever, so most of this town is pointless for me, alright.
Well, apparently, there's like 18 different types of currency or something in that game. Like, it's pretty...
It's stupid.
That is ridiculous. Stupid. It basically seems like Bungie nailed the parts that Bungie knows, which is like shooting.
Right. And
kind of fucked up all the shit they don't know, which is like the MMO. But it sounds like the part they didn't nail is the story, which is something that they do know very well.
I don't have that much of a problem with the story. I mean,
it sounds like it's very thin, and there's not a lot to it, though. Like, it's not...
But when has a thin story ever been a criticism of other games? I mean, seriously, it's
a criticism of a lot of games that are supposed to be story-based games.
I figured out all these little things why I like the multiplayer so much in Destiny. I figured it out.
The competitive multiplayer? The Crucible?
Yeah. I figured out why I like it so much. Can you guess?
Because you're good at it.
No.
No, you're not.
Here's why I like it so much. Because it is exactly the fucking same as Shadowrun.
Shadowrun? That shitty shooter for Xbox 360?
Yes!
That game sucks.
It is exactly the same as... No, it is exactly the same as Destiny, and here's why, right? In Shadowrun, the basic maneuver was pretty slow, and you got to glide around the place. You could jump and glide off things, which is exactly how it is in Destiny, right? You could also get an upgrade, which lets you teleport through things, which is exactly how it is in Destiny. You can get a little teleport. You can change your glide to teleporty thing, right? So the basic speed of movement is exactly the same. Then you've got this kind of magic stuff on top of it, like the vortex grenade or the protection spell thing. exactly the same as Shadowrun.
Bro, telling me that the game is like Shadowrun is not convincing anyone to buy.
I don't need to convince you. I fucking love Shadowrun.
Shadowrun
and it is
was
the same
a
as
fucking
Destiny.
piece of shit.
It was. How is it a piece of shit?
Shadowrun was a fucking piece of garbage.
How was it a piece? How?
You want to
Did
talk about
play it?
bad review scores? That gun's got a 66 on Metacritic.
I don't care what these idiots gave it.
Dude, that game was
awesome. It was
horrendous. Oh my god, it was so bad, man. We're talking about the same Shadowrun, right? The shooter for 360.
It was just a shooter
The one-
with magic and gliding.
The one that
there was
shut
nothing-
the one they shut the servers down within a year of release because no one fucking played it.
I can't remember if I played on 360. I think I played on PC, but yeah, that one.
Yeah, that game was a piece of garbage.
It was not a piece of garbage. It was awesome.
It was a piece of trash. It had cool mechanics and very poor execution. Although, to be fair, the PC version of the game did have a 67 instead of a 66 review score. So it had 1 point higher. So, I mean, that's... anyway, I will probably...
Maybe Destiny is like an improved version of Shadowrun then.
Well, I would hope it's vastly improved.
But you know what? I really enjoy the strike missions where you... any of the missions, actually, where you're fighting against a huge boss, even if it takes 30 minutes to take it down. It's a fucking intense battle, and by the end of it, you are so relieved. Just like, oh my god, I finally did that. It was amazing.
That was fun. I remember that in the beta. That was fun. So we should
Yeah.
move on from Destiny because we've been talking about it for a while. But
No.
I think I am going to wait until these potential, big changes happen to it, and then it gets better, and then get it also while it's cheaper later.
Well, I'd be intrigued to see what they do with it, but I still think we've got a solid game right there.
Oh, no one's
And
questioning that it's
read
solid.
any of the hype. I didn't know any of the hype. All I did was it was not on my radar
It
before. All
probably
I did was to
made it
watch some
better for
gameplay
you.
Videos.
That probably made it
Yeah, I
better.
think so,
if
'cause
you had read
I
the
haven't-
hype, you would have been let down.
I didn't have these preconceived notions about what it was going to be. I just thought, well, that looks cool. I could play that.
I think
You
if
know?
more people did that, they might have enjoyed it more. And not
Mhm.
bitched as much about it. So, James, you just wrote a guide for Make Use Of. It's very long, and I still need to edit it. And it's about some game.
I really appreciate you doing that.
There's no rush. It's not exactly a hot...
It's a rush.
It's not a hot button issue. This game is called... like... Minecraft or Minecraft or something. What is it? It's...
I believe it's pronounced Mine.
Oh, Mine Craft. And a company called Microsoft just spent $2.5 billion to purchase Mojang, the company that makes this Mine Craft.
Is it really Mojang? I thought it was Mohang.
I don't know. Mojang,
I thought it was
Mohang.
like a
I've always
Mexican
heard it
pronunciation.
pronounced as Mojang, like
that just sounds silly. Mojang.
like that game that you with the tiles and the mahjong or something like that. Is that a game? Did I make that up? You know what I'm talking about?
It's a game.
And-
Yeah, but the mahjong is actually nothing like the actual mahjong.
Yeah, I don't know any mahjong because I don't play that stupid shit. So,
Oh, I tried learning once, but it's ridiculous.
so, and then right after Microsoft announced that they were buying this Minecraft game that is apparently popular with the youngins, I don't know. Notch has decided, the founder of Mojang or Mohang or Mawang has decided to leave the company and step down, which should come as a surprise to nobody. He was very, if you remember, not thrilled when Oculus sold to Facebook and was kind of giving him the whole sellout treatment and things of that nature. And so now he kind of has done the same.
It's not just him; it was the other guy as well. I don't know who that is, but
Yeah, but Notch was the main
the directors
face of the
left,
company.
basically.
Yeah.
the developers. Yeah,
And when that happened, there was a time where he was like talking about selling, and he's like, I kind of want to get out of this game, blah blah blah. It's like $2 billion is my price, and I will go away. And Microsoft came about a month later with $2.5 billion, so they threw him an extra $500 million just to be nice, I guess. I don't know. So he says he's going to kind of go, and just kind of do little pet projects and fun things. And he said if any of them blow up big again, he will run away. He said he'll abandon
Sure
it
you will
immediately.
until the checks start raining in again and you need a new car.
I mean, he doesn't need money for the rest of his life now. So, I mean, he's not obviously not going to get all of that 2.5 billion. A good chunk of it's going to go to his friends and his partners that work on Minecraft too. But he's walking away with 800-900
You'd be
million.
surprised
Or
how
something.
many lottery winners now actually have nothing because they spent it all.
Lottery winners are not professional businessmen.
Is this guy?
He's built an extremely successful business. Whether he wants to be a professional businessman or not, he is one.
I don't think that was his.
Even
his
still,
input, though, was it?
If I developed a game that went viral and went popular, would I actually have the
what you would do is hire someone else to manage that shit for you and give you the paychecks.
I don't think he did though, because he was doing that all himself. Like he was the public face of it and everything. So I got to assume he's a fairly savvy businessman in order to have pulled that off.
Yeah, maybe.
He's got to be at least.
He didn't like the spotlight.
He's at least smarter than your average dude from Kentucky that wins the lottery. And then blows it all on hookers and blow the first night. You know what I mean? Like I still
don't understand what Microsoft is going to do with this, really.
Well, Microsoft said that it will not
multi-platform.
Yeah, they're not taking it away from Sony or anything, so they're just going to sell it. It's still the best-selling game, like the top 3 selling games every month. It's fucking insane.
They said that Microsoft will make more money having bought this than they would have if it was sitting in a bank earning interest, which is fair enough, but that.
They expect
what are they actually going to do with it? Like, that's not...
They expect to make their investment back within a year.
No. You're reading that wrong. It's not that they will make back the 2.5 billion in a year. It's that they will make back more than if they had put 2.5 billion in the bank.
Oh.
So they're making more than the interest would have been, basically. It's they won't make 2.5 billion off of this in a year. That's not going to happen.
Gotcha.
Which does beg the question then, what are they going to do with it?
It'll make money in the long run. I mean, it's still like I said, it's still the top 3 selling games every single month. That's just free money coming in. And then there's the inevitable Minecraft sequel, which will just clean up.
Without Notch's input, though?
I don't think it matters. Remember, the main audience of Minecraft is like little kids. Are they really paying attention to whether or not Notch is working on the game? Like, we're paying attention.
No, but I mean, my only thought with Minecraft 2 would be all better graphics.
I guess, but
what else are you going to do with it?
Well, maybe they don't even have... But doesn't Minecraft have, like microtransactions? Like, that you can buy, like, shovels or something? I don't know. Isn't there some... Isn't there some kind of...
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Well, you wrote the fucking...
She's asking in the chat room, am I going to buy Alibaba stock? Yes, I am. I believe it's coming out tomorrow.
Buy who stock?
I shop on AliExpress all the time, so I will absolutely buy Ali stock. I'll probably sell off some of my Apple shares to buy some.
You know where the
They're looking at about...
You know where the money from Minecraft comes in?
$68 per share? What's that? Go on.
The merch. Fucking t-shirts and hoodies.
I was totally going to buy some little Minecraft soft toys.
Foam pickaxes and... That's where the money is, man. And now Microsoft makes all that money from all that stuff. All that licensing for all that Minecraft shit, that's all Microsoft now. So maybe that's what it is. They have a pickaxe phone stylus. You know you want that. Play Minecraft on your phone and then actually pick stuff. Maybe I should play this game someday. I don't know.
You should, after you read my guide.
Yeah, maybe after I read your guide, I'll learn everything, including whether or not the game has microtransactions, which you apparently don't know.
It doesn't.
Some guide writer you are.
So Alibaba, if you don't know, is the biggest, basically Chinese. It's kind of like an Amazon and an eBay combined. It's actually where about a third of my expenditure goes on. Like, I would say Amazon, eBay, and AliExpress is where I split my outgoings, as it were. So judging by that, I will absolutely buy their stock because it's going to be majorly popular.
I hate to break away from the gaming stuff, but I believe that iOS out now, right? I think it just. I see Ben posted in the our iOS group on the site that iOS 8 is being pushed out as we speak. So
I'm going to wait a day until everyone says it broke my phone.
I'm gonna get it. I don't take it.
What's the point? There's not that much difference, is there? Seriously?
Quick reply, man, the best feature. Wait till you have quick reply. When you understand how amazing quick reply is, when you have that feature, it'll change your life, man. It is amazing. Quick reply.
What are we looking at here with new features? Do I care?
Quick reply.
Apart from the Swift keyboard, yeah, I could go for the Swift keyboard.
I don't like those keyboards. You like those keyboards where you like slide your finger around like some kind of maniac?
They actually kind of do work.
I mean, yeah. I'm sure they work. Like, I have the NVIDIA Shield tablet, which I just finished the review of, and that has that. I never use it, though. I just go like this. Lift my finger every time. Like that. Anyway, iOS 8's out, so I just wanted to mention that you can get that shit if you want. There is a boring PSA that James would like to tell us. James, why don't you tell us your boring PSA?
Well, it's just a safety announcement not to click on random links in Twitch.
That seems like a smart idea, just in general.
Yep.
In life.
There's a malware that's going around spreading through Twitch's chat, which is basically a phishing scheme.
I'm going to give you guys a tip to make your life better. When you're on Twitch, just hide the chat. Because the Twitch chat is just a cesspool of bullshit and garbage. So unless you're on like a really small channel, like someone that only has, like 100 viewers or something like that, just fucking hide it because it's all garbage.
So if you're wondering why Dave never responds to you, it's because he's hidden the chat.
No, well, if I'm streaming on my own channel, I have the chat open, but no one ever watches my channel, so it's fine. But if you're on like someone like Robert's channel, like our own Robert Weezahan, like he has like a dedicated group who watches him and like they talk and they're not like saying Kappa and shit. Like they're saying like useful things. So like his chat is worth having.
They're not saying what? Kappa.
Kappa. It's a stupid thing people say on Twitch chat. Like Kappa, blah blah, bullshit. Fucking I'm a retard. I hate myself. Twitch chat. It's pretty much. Huh. It's a cesspool of the internet. It's right up there with like Reddit. No, it's way worse than Reddit. So yeah, don't click links in Twitch chat. There's a great bit of news from James that is just filling up space on our outline.
It'll go into your Steam account and start transferring things, I think, or spending your money or something.
You'll die. And that's...
Oh, another PSA. If you are going to download iOS 8, do not click to upgrade out iCloud Drive because it makes your iCloud stuff incompatible with any current version of OS X, which is kind of stupid. Why would they do that? That's dumb.
So if you own a Mac, update. If you don't own a Mac, don't update.
No. So when you have not even if you own a Mac, because it's only compatible with OS X Yosemite, which is the next version of OS X, which isn't out yet, right? So although the feature is enabled in iOS 8, it won't work with your Mac.
Gotcha.
But does that just mean you can't use it, or that you're going to break everything else? I mean, that's dumb.
So iCloud Drive is basically like Dropbox for iCloud, right? Like you have more control over your iCloud or something. Isn't that what it is?
Oh, well, hang on. You can just enable it and only work with iOS for now, since it doesn't work with a Mac. It's like a Dropbox, the new iCloud Drive.
Yeah, I don't need another fucking Dropbox thing. I have Dropbox and
6 of those right
fucking
now.
Copy and plus
BT Sync.
Well,
Copy.
BT Sync is not. I don't group that in with them because it's vastly superior. But yeah, fuck those things. How much cloud do I need, man? Plus, I got like
at least 7 clouds.
Plus, I have my Steam cloud, which has like my Steam save games. Then I got my fucking Microsoft cloud that has like my Xbox save games. I'm sure I have more clouds too.
That.
I got my Google Drive.
Don't have Microsoft anything.
I got my Google Drive. That's got some fucking
true.
shit on it. Like, do I even have anything? I don't even need a hard drive anymore. I'm just gonna throw my hard drive out the window. Everything's on the fucking cloud. So whatever. Cloud rules the world, man.
Including your naked pics.
I'm not going to touch that topic. Just a reminder that all views expressed by the Technophilia podcast host do not necessarily reflect that of MakeUseOf.com or its management.
Moving on.
Unless the view is expressed by Justin Pott, who is Make Use Of Management. So then it does reflect it, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Oh, we got one last story to end it on.
So, violent video games, which people always say are responsible for all the crime in the world. Like, if somebody commits, like, a crime, it's like, the fucking video games did it. But apparently, according to this...
He played Call of Duty. It trained him.
Yeah, he learned how to shoot an M16 because he was good at working the right joystick. So apparently, a new study shows that it actually may reduce real-world crime. What? That seems crazy. I feel like there's zero correlation between the two, and it's all coincidence, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, it doesn't appear to be like that. Once they took out controls like summer holidays and stuff, and when games are released, they found that actually periods of just after a video game release for 3 months resulted in lower crime rates.
Because people are sitting in their house playing them.
Game was released.
Big games, I assume.
Well,
we're talking like Call of Duty GTA size games, right? Not like...
Well, yeah, basically, and it kind of seems obvious when you think about it, in that violent crime is generally done by young males, and young males generally play video games.
Yeah, so they're not... It's basically... But it's not that it really... Is it that it has anything to do with the game preventing it, or just the fact that they are busy playing the game, so they're not out on the streets beating each other and robbing shit?
Well, it has to do with the fact that it's a violent video game in the sense that if you released My Little Pony whatever, they wouldn't be playing it. So the very fact that they are playing these games reduces violent crime, and therefore the games reduce the violent crime. I mean, it's a bit of a shocking revelation, really, isn't it? When you give young men something to do, they don't kill each other.
Yeah, I mean...
Wow, crazy, huh?
Someone asked if I'm on Cloud 9. I wonder if they're going to get my reference or if they're referring to a different Cloud 9.
What's Cloud 9? Is that a website?
Well, Cloud 9 is like, the expression like, oh, I'm on Cloud 9, like you're happy or in love or something. But it's also
Cloud 9's a cloud-based IDE.
It's also a professional Dota team.
Oh.
So I said I wish, but now that Sing Sing left, I don't know if I want to because Sing Sing left. So if the first result that comes up for me for Cloud9 is cloud9.gg, which is the pro Dota team. Anywho,
that's the first result you get, really?
Well, Google knows me, and it knows that I would care more about Dota than some other service.
I get Cloud9 C9.io, which is a cloud development site.
See, well, that's more interesting to you than a Dota team, so it makes sense.
God damn you, Google! Stop messing with my results.
Now you never know. That's why you have to always private browse when you want to actually see like where an article ranks or something, because you can't, or go to DuckDuckGo or whatever. Anyway, we don't have any more stories to talk about, so I guess this brings an end to this podcast. Hopefully we've made it through this episode without offending anybody, but you never know. You just never know. If we offended you, why don't you reach out and tell us on Facebook at facebook.com/ what is our Facebook? Technophilia Podcast.
No, why don't you send it to your 900 Twitter followers and like condemn Make Use Of in the process? That'll be much more productive.
Yeah. So post it. Wait, what was I saying? And I'm not calling anybody out in particular here. So if you enjoyed this episode, go to facebook.com/Technophilia Podcast or twitter.com/The Technophilia. And tell us how awesome we are there and how much you enjoyed the show, even though Justin wasn't here. Because, let's be honest, me and James are the real reason you're watching this show anyway. You can also leave us a review on the iTunes Music Store, which you can also download the latest U2 album from. Tell us in the review on iTunes why we are better than the latest U2 album. And that's it. That's a show, ladies and gentlemen. I have been Dave LeClaire. My partner in crime has been Mr. James Bruce. And we are out.
You're listening to Techno. You're listening to Techno. You're listening to Technophilia. Listening to Technophilia. Technophilia. You're listening. Technophilia. Doing that.
Well, I don't know who assigned that arbitrary rule that you can't drink in the morning, but I say bullshit.
Should we move on to the news then? Or you got something else? We'll see. Get off the internet and get to work.
I'm too perfect anyway. I got nothing to fix.
You're listening to Technophilia. Keep doing that. Technophilia.